chaos, hot takes flying, yeah, you already know this. From the ring to the real, we talking that truth. Laughs get loud when the crew cut loose. It's a cookout, where the takes stay hot and the game stay wild. The cookout, wrestling talk with that family style. The cookout, 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 cookout. Come for the wrestling, stay for the chaos. Workhorse Wrestling Network, let's go! With ALW, CM, Sammy, and Anika. Hot topics cooking, no chaser, no filter. Fire games popping, debates get reckless. If you ready for the madness, then pull up a seat. Workhorse Wrestling Network, this is the cookout.
Evening and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us here on this fine Tuesday night. It is the 2nd of June, 2026, 7:30, 7:40 p.m. Pacific over here, 10:40 Eastern over there, where Miss Anika is over there in the great state of Florida. How is it over there on the East Coast or the South? Are you to the East Coast? Well, what are you?
East Coast time, but in the South.
Okay, all right. So how's the weather over there?
Hot. It's hot
here today too.
We're,
It was
we're,
hot.
we're in summertime. I don't care about you people who have 4 seasons. May is summer for us. I will punch you on the throat. This is stupid. This is very much egregiously dumb.
It is
But
definitely
thankfully,
it was almost
thankfully
90
the
today. So, as always, we are here to talk what is cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. Before we do that, do a little tiny bit of housekeeping. If you're new to the Workhorse Wrestling Network channel, YouTube channel, hit that like button on this video, hit that subscribe button, and hit that little bell so you're notified every time we put something up on the YouTube channel. If you're with us on Twitch, we appreciate you over there. Give us a follow. If you're here and there's something you want to chime in and say, by all means, please chime in the chat. Let us know what you want to talk about. Let us know what you got to say about anything going on in the world of professional wrestling, good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is. You want to talk about something not wrestling oriented, we're happy to do that as well. So, myself and Anika are going to be here for a little bit, just talking some wrestling, I guess. So tonight was Miss Anika came up with the topic, so I'll hand it over to her, and she can kind of get us started.
Hi. So we are in summer hours, and I will say not too shabby for our wrestling fans. I would just say that. And when I say that, as in we have some pretty good shows so far. We still, it's still the lull after the main, after WrestleMania. Even after Double or Nothing, we'll see what happens because we still have to get to AEW SummerSlam, which is, I'm going to say, All In. So, I'm not going to say a lull, but it is like, okay, are you going to take your foot off the brakes, or are we going to keep it going hot? As of right now, it's so really good. But the main thing that happened this week, this week is in AAA, they had a mass versus mass match. The conclusion of the El Grande Americano storyline that started off with Chad Gable, but ended with we have keep the kayfabe, might be Ludwig Kaiser. We don't know. We do know. We don't know. But it's crazy. I say that because seeing how this storyline started in 2024, I'm a double check, but it's been a very, very long storyline. Definitely a year, but I'm gonna put some change into it because Chad Gable got hurt, and because Chad Gable got hurt, they're like, hey, well, this is just a mask, so let's put anybody in the mask. Oh, let's put 3 people in the mask. It's like, okay, we lost the plot. The plot was Chad Gable was facing, well, more so it was Penta, and he wanted to defeat Penta. That's why he went to Mexico under Dominic Mysterio. Let's all remember the original storyline. Dominic Mysterio guidance, and he found the dude that gave him a mask, and that's why he became Grande Americano. Now we know that he's Grande Americano because he lost the Masters mask match, and he finally took the mask off. But suffice it to say, out of all of the promotions, this was definitely a top 5 match of the week. And I am counting Double or Nothing, and I am counting Clash in Italy. I respect, and I do respect that AAA is still trying to not distance, but it is its own entity from WWE. When I say its own entity, yeah, some WWE people go in there, but there you go. TKO is not control of their storyline. They're still doing their own thing. It's still being controlled by whoever is controlling AAA. And what was I saying? There it is. Yeah. So, yep. That's why I said it. Because if it was me, and I was TKO with Triple, I'm not sure they knew what a gem this match was, because this should have been on Clash in Italy. That's how good it was, and it was good to the point of even last night on Raw, they're like, if you didn't miss it, we're going to show it to you on Netflix. Where now everyone's like, oh wait, hold up. Is AAA going to Netflix? I don't think it is, but I think the match was that good. They're like, hey, just in case you missed it, and just all a hubbub about this is the match. That's how great it was, where it should have been on pay-per-view. And so, so I watched it after Raw, and it was truly good. And for me, what made it good was it was action-packed, but the story actually lined up to it. Now, the story in AAA, not the story in WWE, because I'm not sure why SP3 always kept saying this during all the Raw reviews. Why are y'all differing from what they're doing in the story in AAA is that not the original Grande Americano, Luca Carter, fourth wall. He actually immersed himself into the culture. He actually learned Spanish. He actually got a hot Latino girlfriend. He is actually now, like if you're going to do dual citizenship, he's actually immersed as a masked luchador. While Chad Gable, he just has a mask on, and he still sounds like he's from Minnesota. But then you go to Raw, and somehow they're like, but the story is, oh, it's the other way around. Chad Gable's the good guy, and Luke's the bad guy. It's like, no, just keep it on just keep it how AAA has it, because it's actually really good. But because you keep switching it, when they wrestle on Raw, no one is hired because you mix up the story. Suffice to say, like I said, great match. Just follow the AAA storyline, and from beginning to end, it's a good rivalry. It's a great conclusion. Please watch the match. And then, so this is sorry, that's a very elongated version of how we got to the topic of the day. People, like I said, people are saying that was maybe, even though it's AAA, WWE's best match in a long time, a very long time. But then you go to, it's not a lot of like, thankfully, not a lot of crackheads or emotional crackheads on the internet. It's not a lot of people who are, well, Double or Nothing have better matches. Thankfully, it's like that. But it is like, what makes a good match for us? What makes wrestling entertaining for us? Because for me, this was a perfect wrestling match, not for WWE, not for AEW. In general, this was a perfect wrestling match because for Anika, I need a story to build up to it. I just don't. Yes, I can appreciate a good wrestling match for the physicality of it all, but I need to be invested in why I need this guy to beat up this guy. That's me. I can't. It's like I'll watch it, but it'd be like, okay, that was a good match. But I'm not attached to it the way I would be like, oh shoot, she just turned on Blair. Shoot, I can understand it though because y'all put these new chicks up in here and y'all try to work. I'm talking about Naomi. So the rivalry of last year that still holds dear to my heart. I want her to come back as soon as possible, but be healthy. Is Naomi and Jade Cargill, and that's what I'm going with. So it's like, oh shoot, she did betray her. No more big three. But I'm like, oh, listen, Naomi has been here for a minute, and oh, here comes this new chick, and y'all just want to steamroll her. I stay with Naomi. It's not happening. And that leads to a great TLC match. Yep, we'll call it no DQ match at Evolution, and that leads to Naomi winning the belt, and that is probably the best moment for me in 2025. I just wanted to open the floor. I wish Sammy was here. Like, open the floor. Like, it's just you and me. We'll chat it up. But so yeah, what makes a great wrestling match from our perspective? If you're in the chat, comment down below or in the live chat. Tell us yourself. Like, what really be like? Okay, that a match of the ages. You know.
That's a super tough question. I mean, it's there was that great Supreme Court. There's a great quote from the Supreme Court. I think it might have been, I don't know, one of the original Supreme Court justices from the Supreme Court. And they were talking about pornography, and they asked him, "What is pornography?" He says, "I don't know, but I know it when I see it." And I feel like to a certain extent, it's that way. Like, I can't give you the exact criteria. I can't tell you the 5 for definite things that always make a great match, but I can sure tell you once I've seen a good match that goddamn that was a great match, right? Like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
always the same 5 criteria. Sure, in theory, a great storyline helps a lot, especially if it's something that you can get the fans invested in. I think that goes a long way to getting people emotionally invested in something. You know, if you can compound that with really solid um production value and make it look really good and all that stuff, and then you can also combine it with great wrestling. You get high quality wrestlers in there that perform really well. Ideally, you get the perfect storm, and that's when you get those once in a generation matches, or the ones that people always talk about. The the rare few that come around here and there. So
Yeah.
I don't, it's for me. There's always a couple things that I like about wrestling, or the things that I like and the reasons that I watch wrestling, even though I know it's technically not a truly competitive sport because they've already decided the outcome. I'm still there
Yes.
for the actual physical sport of it. I like watching the guys physically move. I like watching the women move. I like watching the actual physical interaction, the punching, the kicking, even if it's real, even if it's not. I like watching people get thrown around. And, one of the things that I've always loved about professional wrestling that you don't get in a lot of times in, UFC or other forms of martial arts or, combat fighting is the extreme stuff, right? Is the more outrageous stuff.
Yeah.
Like UFC, they're using ladders and chairs, and whether they're doing it legitimately or not, whether it's a fake ladder, whether it's a fake chair, whether they're taking it in the back, whatever the case may be, it looks cool. I don't care what anybody says. It looks cool, and that's fun to watch. So I've always loved that, like, you can see that kind of more outrageous stuff, and it's a spectacle. It's always spectacular, and then yeah, and then the athletic prowess of the athletes, and then on top of that, obviously, when you have someone with a good personality. I mean, the whole thing about professional wrestling, especially, is whether you like or hate a person, right? Or one of the guy or girl that's wrestling and how you feel about them. And that's all gauged upon their ability to talk to you as a fan and make them feel like they're talking directly to you, or that they're relatable to you, or all those things, whatever it is that hits for that person, right? But I can't always tell you. It really is one of those, I got to see it to know, because there have been plenty of times where in my head, like on paper, you think, you know, okay, I knew they were both slow. I know that they're both slow wrestlers. I never thought Gunther versus Randy would be as slow and as terrible as it actually was. Like on paper, you have
Yeah.
Randy, who is one of the greatest, potentially one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, depending on who you're talking to or whatever. And Gunther, who's definitely earned his position, as a solid main event superstar. You think on paper that you can't go wrong, and the match was terrible. So there are times that stuff happens. So I mean, terrible's hyperbole. Obviously, it's not terrible. They're still good guys. It is what it is, right? And there's probably plenty of people out there that love that match, for all I know. But
Yeah.
in my mind,
Yeah.
that's not the kind of match that I want to watch. But on paper, it looks great. So it all just depends. I think you can try as a booker. And as someone that's running a wrestling company, I think you can try as best you can to try to pair people together that you think have chemistry that work well together. But you don't really know any of that until it's put in front of the fans.
Oh, I can't hear you. Come have. Oh, did you freeze? Or did I freeze? Let's check the tape, Alex. A moment here. I definitely will say that you have to follow the fans. Like when I say follow the fans, uh, I think it does start with what the fans want, even though WE wants to say otherwise. Oh no, well, you're just gonna take it; it'll be fine. No, it won't be fine because it is. Let me wave to my hands. Am I frozen? Nope. I think it's okay. So ALW, I think you're frozen. You need to come back in. Come back in. Um, but yeah, no, it won't be fine because I am your customer, and so it is. Not to sound broy, not to sound all big chested or whatever, but it does start with us. And like if you, when I'm here, so yeah, if you're going to start with how to make a good wrestling match, it should start with us.
Sorry, yeah, my
Oh,
computer power just went out completely.
okay, so let's go up here and can you and just get rid of your first little thing.
Yeah, let's see if I can. Yeah, where am I? Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't.
So
Okay, there
there
we
it
go.
is.
So
So
yeah,
I
no,
would definitely
oh, go ahead.
go. You continue.
I was just gonna say that it's very the fans are fickle, and that we waffle back and forth all the time. And that's also an indication of the wrestlers and wrestling doing its job, because it is supposed to feed on our emotions, right? So all
Yeah.
those things. I mean, it's really tough to just say A plus B equals a good match. I did not see Chad Gable versus Ludwig Kaiser. I'm not watching WWE, and when I
It's
go to
phenomenal.
YouTube and I see that it's Corey Hart or Corey Graves, I'm sorry, Corey Graves and JBL on broadcast, and Rey Mysterio is the general manager now, and according to Sammy, Undertaker is the booker. That's a lot of WWE connections, especially for a company that's owned by WWE. So I'm still not going to watch it. I appreciate Jack Gable, and I appreciate, well, I don't really like Ludwig Kaiser, but I can appreciate, his ability to continue to grow. And I'll take your word for it that it's a good match. I guess you can talk a little bit about Clash in Italy too. I love Chad Gable. Chad Gable is probably Chad Gable has. There's an argument for Chad Gable maybe being the most, the best, the most underrated wrestler ever in some regards. I mean, he's
Mm.
probably one of the. I mean, he's easily one of the most talented guys to ever step into a wrestling ring, both physically. He's got great personality. He can talk, all those things. And yet, for some reason, it just has never gotten over in the States as it has, well, in Mexico, or as it should. I mean, it just hasn't for whatever reason. I'm not sure he's ever been appreciated the way he should. Well, at least he's never been booked that way. So, no, I mean, I'm a huge Chad Gable fan. Um, Me personally, I would love to see Chad Gable get away from the WWE machine. There was a thing about Dave Meltzer. I watched Dave Meltzer talk about this match and Chad Gable afterwards, and he was heaping just praise on top of Chad Gable. I mean, he said Chad Gable compared to Pac. He said that's a great comparison for him. He thinks Chad's more athletic than Pac. He thinks he's a better talker than Pac, and he thinks that if he came to AEW, his future would be brighter than Pac. Now, I don't know whether I agree with all of that
Like,
exactly,
tone it down. Okay.
but I do think that Chad Gable doesn't get enough credit for being as good as he is, and I do think that if he was able to go somewhere like AEW or get away from the WWE machine, he could maybe shine a little bit better. But again, it is what it is. I think he's been a victim of the fact that he doesn't fit the WWE mold. He's not 6'5", he's not 280 pounds, he's not,
Yeah.
all those things, right? So, um,
Yeah.
but God, he's an amazing wrestler, and I have no doubt that everything I hear, the match was great. I guess here's my question to you. You said on Discord that between Double or Nothing, Clash in Italy, and AAA, it could change the way people think about pay-per-views. I want you to expand upon that because I'm not sure I totally understand what exactly you meant by that comment.
Oh no. Not change people what about pay per view, but just more so how to set up a pay per view. So
Okay.
like no offense to Double or Nothing, no offense to Double or Nothing. There wasn't that much. Yes, great pay per view. When you watch it, 10 out of 10, awesome. The build up though was not good. Let's call it fade as fade. The build up was not good. I will go to one of the matches, Okada versus Takeshita. It's been a year since we wanted these two to finally collide, and the last month of promoting their match was not good. Like if you think about it, it was Okada doing matches and Takeshita only doing one match, which is insane. And I think and I'm not even sure why they switched it because it was supposed to be Okada versus Darby, but either they said, "Hey, give Takeshita," or maybe Okada got hurt. I'm not sure, but it's like that was the only match that Takeshita did, which is highly insane because we all know Okada doesn't like to do regular shows that much. So that was the same build up to the match. Now, granted, watch the match, you forget all that crap. But again, for Anika, I would have loved it would have been okay. There we go. There it is. So, like someone in the chat they're discussing it. They're like, "Hey, is it on the level of Hangman versus Swerve?" And immediately we all was like, "No, it's not." Why? Because of how it was constructed. The feud. We saw Hangman and Swerve, how it started, the middle point and the end of finally Swerve giving up his pride in helping Heyman get the title. It was a beginning, a middle, and an end. Now, will they run it back? Yes, most definitely. But that's why it's like, and I wish, and the thing about it is they had the potential to make it that good. They did have this feud did have potential to be up there with Swerve and Heyman, but the last couple of months, it's just, I don't say dropped the ball, but it was like, oh, we don't care if the catch it anymore. So so that's one of the things where it's just like, I wish that it won't be for all pay per view, but I'll give Double Nothing the credit to this. It was a smorgasbord of if you don't like one match on that card, you might not like wrestling because it was variations on the show of what kind of wrestling style you like. So, and I just wish for for pay-per-views to get better. Let's get better at that. We're just like, yeah, okay, we can have just two dudes that want to wrestle to the other side, two big men slapping me, and then have an actual story build up to actually the crescendo of a freaking feud. Like I don't know. like this whole. I'm not sure when it happened, but it's like, why do we have to choose? Why can't I have it all? It's a wrestling show, and like I don't want to cut off the wrestling. I don't want to cut off the story as well. I want both. Why can't I have both? And that's more
Well,
so what I was getting at.
and I think that's when you get, I mean, for you, and that's when it's that perfect storm, right? I.e., this match, mask versus match, is when you have both that
Yes.
story and then you put it together with the quality wrestling to build up all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of times that we're critical when there's too much build up too. Not too much build up, but like, I don't want to say too much build up, but like when every single week they're at each other and nothing's really happening, trying to build up to a match, right? So like, we've been
Hmm.
critical about in the past about MJF having to talk to whoever it is every single week for 6 weeks before they have the match. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or whatever the
Yeah.
case. So like, the idea that you give Okada and Takeshita a little bit of room to breathe after their first match, and the tensions there, you can still have that without having. But I do understand what you're saying. The problem wasn't for me necessarily the lack of buildup the month before. It was that they didn't really strike the first time when the iron was hot. Like, they did, but they
Yeah.
didn't. Like, the first match was okay, but the second match was definitely better. And
Hmm.
the second match needed to happen first and earlier, like sooner than even the first match. Like,
Oh
this should
yeah.
have happened 6 months ago. Well, maybe not 6 months ago, but let's say 3 months ago, right? So I think T or A AEW is often guilty of either being too early or too late on things. Like, it seems like they have a hard time hitting it right on the nose often.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, and often they don't. So, or at least in our opinion, right? So, um, but yeah, I mean, for me, I thought Double or Nothing was very good. Everyone was like, "Is this the best pay-per-view of all time?" I was like, "That's putting a lot on it." Like, I mean, I don't know. Like,
Thank
I mean,
you. I'm like, let's pipe
uh,
it down.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
we can have a valid conversation about some stuff. I mean, what are we comparing it to? I mean, WrestleMania 17 has been the benchmark for a long time. Was Double or Nothing better than WrestleMania 17 for me? Probably not. No, I mean, I don't think it was. There's the fact that we are even still talking about WrestleMania 17 25 years later, or however many years it's been. What are we at,
That's
WrestleMania 4?
crazy.
So 23 years later tells you just how important that particular event was and how good that event was. That event, in many respects, has been the benchmark for every single wrestling fan or every talking head for a long time. Do I think Double or Nothing 2026 surpassed that? Probably not. Am I going to forget Double or Nothing 2026 in 6 months? Probably so. And you don't forget WrestleMania 17. So, is it good? Maybe.
Mm.
Is it the best pay-per-view this year so far? It very well could be. I mean, I haven't watched any WWE pay-per-views. It very well could be the best pay-per-view of AEW this year. I mean, Revolution was solid, but we can always talk about that. I mean, we can always have that debate, you know. Um,
Hmm.
but I mean, for me, it was a very good pay-per-view, but AEW always has good pay-per-views. That's why I like AEW. Like, I didn't think there was anything. For me, there wasn't anything that happened at Double or Nothing where I thought to myself, "Holy shit, this is just insanely amazing. Like, I can't believe this happened. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna remember this forever." Like, I mean, it just, you know what I mean? There wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
there was good stuff, but nothing quite like that. I mean, not in my opinion. So,
Or like, okay, just compare AEW to AEW. Like last year, and it was the Owen Cup, and it ended with Heyman beating Osprey, and that was a very tight thing. But the last part where Hangman finally just yelled, like the relief of finally the demons are exorcised. It's just like, oh my god, like I was exhaling with him of yes, it's over. You're back from the black hole. Or fast forward to All In, and it's Hangman versus Moxley, and Moxley is frantically choking out and then finally taps out. Yes, it's finally over. The reign of Moxley and the Death Fire has finally come to it. Like that moment is needed for AEW because, like you said, y'all have wrestling down pat. No one's arguing that. So, like, great matches. It is. It's crazy to say this, but in 3 months, 2 months, all is in August and August. In 2 months, we might have matches that beat double or nothing matches, but we don't have storyline for their storyline to storyline. We don't have that yet, and that's what needed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always torn on storylines. I mean, it's got to be done well, right? Like a good storyline,
Mhm.
obviously, it can definitely make or break a situation. I mean, I understand that the world, especially when you get to the guys and gals that we see on TV, because really, when you think about, especially if you only watch AEW, the amount of people that you actually see on TV is very small. What are we looking at? Maybe 20 people on a regular basis that rotate in and out of your
Yeah,
TV. So I'm acutely aware of the fact that all these people know each other very close and that they're all extremely intertwined with each other for the most part. At the same time, I've made that joke a billion times. We don't need to hear that you guys rode the road together for 20 years and did crack and slept with each other's sisters and whatever the case may be. I don't even know. Like, we don't, not every story, even though it might be that way, we don't need to hear that all the time because I do think
yeah,
some of that runs its course. It gets a little old. It's like it starts to feel, and I understand that for some people, that's exactly why they're there, but it starts to feel a little soap opera y at some point. And I get that for some people, that's why they're there. I understand. I'm just talking from a personal standpoint. I like some of it as long as it's as long as it's controlled, right? It's not
hmm
just all the time. I also don't have any problem. I think it's viable to say, listen, you have a belt that I want. I want that. Let's wrestle for it. We don't have to have had this whole long history. I simply want what you have. And that should be enough too. And that rivalry, me saying, I'm not letting you have my belt, and you saying, I want it, should be enough to heat it up to the point where let's have a match about it. You know what I'm saying? So it can
hmm
be both ways. It just has to be done well. Like there has been a ton of long-term storytelling that's been done very poorly, right? So it's not always just about making it long-term, or it has to still be a good
Oh yeah,
story. It still has to have a good payoff. It still has to have something. And we've had very, very short storylines that have worked out really, really great with great payoff. So I mean, and we've had long-term ones that have paid off as well. It all just depends on what but really for me, it just boils down to how does it play out? Is it actually good? If it's good, then it's good. And you don't really recognize whether it's been 5 years to get there or 5 days to get there because it's just good, right? It's when there's
yeah,
something about it that you're like, why is that not the way that we thought it should be? Well, it took eight years to get there, or they only gave him 5 days to lead up to it, right? Well, and so that's right. So that's how you know that it's good because you don't have those feelings about
yeah.
those things, right? So
Right.
yeah, no, I mean it's that's the chicken and the egg question, right? Like, and that's the
Mhm.
other thing. Like, it also goes back to why certain people get over, and we talk on here a lot about how certain people get over and why certain people get TV time and why certain people don't. It's that same concept. Like, you don't know it until you see it. It's one of those things like on paper, a guy like a Brian Cage should be getting over, but on TV and in front of fans, for whatever reason, there's a disconnection. The Ludwig
Yeah,
Kaisers of the world, for the people that like them, should be getting over more in the States, but for whatever reason, there's a disconnect. The Chad Gables of the world, I mean, there's a lot of those guys,
like
Miro's,
like
the
like
Rusevs, it's like,
like like. Side note, real quick. Like this was is Triple Diablo, is Mexico, but the main event is basically a dude from Minnesota and a dude from Europe with a bunch of a bunch of we call it, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne in that. But that's how good they are in wrestling. But because y'all don't know how to push that, y'all put mask on them. Like, just I did have to say that out
yeah, no,
loud.
I mean, I mean, it's not lost on me that the main event is two white guys, right, in a Mexican
Yeah,
federation, right? from two pretty white guys. I mean, Chad Gable's a pretty white American dude, and Ludwig Kaiser's a pretty white European dude, right? So, like,
Yeah.
so no, I mean, I
Yeah.
find that interesting. I also, here's the
But
thing.
wrestling wise,
So if Triple A is owned by WWE, why can you make it work there but not here? Like it makes no. I understand. You have a different booker and whatever you got going on down there. Maybe it's all, but it's like it just seems like a weird disconnect. Like you have two companies. Like we own Nike and Jordan. We can make really good shoes over here and bad shoes over here. It's like, well, what? It's the same company. Just make good shit
yeah,
everywhere. I don't understand. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. But okay.
it really doesn't.
Clash in Italy.
It was good. It was good. It was good. Depending on who you ask. Because here's my main issue. Brock and Oba.
I saw that.
I can't stand. So I can't stand Brock Lesnar. Y'all already know this, right? But it's not even about me not saying Brock Lesnar. It's the fact. It's, again, I was going to bring this up when you said some stuff was overbooked. They overbooked it. So WrestleMania Oba beat Brock, yay! But Brock can't stand to have the spotlight not on him. He retires. Boo! Basically stealing the spotlight from Oba. But you come back and do this match. Now, I'm Anika. This ain't my first time around the block. I know you're Brock Lesnar, so I know you're gonna get your lip back, right? That's not the part that bothers me. If we were going to do this match, planned or not, and I do think it was planned for them to run it back. Why are you announcing your retirement? Because you're a punk. You can't tell me there's no other reason. There's no other reason. If they're running this back, him announcing retirement makes no sense. I'm okay with him winning. Like I said, go for 3. This is a good story, fine. 3, hopefully Oba wins. Who knows? But because you announced your retirement, you stole the shine from you stole Oba's moment to bask in the glory of beating the beast, Brock Lesnar. So no matter how good this match is, 5-5 has to take down Oba. I don't care. Because you already overbooked it. I'm already pissed off. That's what happens when you overbook stuff. That's the opposite of what I'm talking about. Overbooking stuff to the point where you lose the freaking lost in the sauce. There's too much sauce. It's too freaking salty. Where's the steak at? There it is. I don't care no more. I had to drink down 5 gallons of sauce to get to the dang steak.
Yeah.
So there's that. It was Jacob Fatu versus Roman. Unfortunately, Jacob was a little hurt. So before this match, and this was crazy, they did a house show, him versus Solo, and he got a little bit injured. I guess it was overly injured, where he just did the match. You can tell they didn't do everything they wanted to do, which is unfortunate. I'm very like, go ahead, Jacob, to still pursue, because they had, if I'm saying it right, they had Solo in the background just in case Jacob couldn't go through with it, but he could. But you can tell they wanted to do more for that match. That's very much unfortunate. I like Rhea versus Jade, even though Jade lost. I'm like, finally, they're letting Jade wrestle. I'm not sure who told y'all she couldn't, but you're finally letting her do it. Thank you. That's going to lead to finally her versus Charlotte, which I think everybody, her included, she wanted for a very long time. So hopefully that will be red hot for SummerSlam. That'll be a very good match. So Ruka beat Becky. That was cool. I didn't watch that. The time went off, and I'm not paying $35 for pay-per-view. Sorry. Y'all spoiled me. Can't go back. But that was okay, and that was basically mostly it. Oh, no, Braun Breaker and stuff was on Raw. So yeah, it was like it was good, and that was the thing I wanted to say. It was like I'm not gonna say I'm tired of comparing because this is basically what we do on the show. We have to compare once in a while, but at one point in time, if I'm enjoying the show, I'm enjoying the show, and so it really is hard to then you go online and you see, well, it wasn't double or nothing, or it wasn't blah blah blah, and it's just like I don't need to be double or nothing. Now, granted, there are some emotional crackheads who want to go down AEW's throat. So I can see how people are like, oh, I can see how other AEW fans go to town when it's not up to par. I can totally get that. But just as a fan of wrestling in general, it just was like, can we get to the point where a show's a show? You know,
Wrestling.
I would love to get to that point. Like, I didn't even want to, what's the word? Go listen to podcasts because I'm like, it was fun. It was a nice Saturday afternoon. I didn't have to work. It was on ESPN for free. It was the first hour. I just wanted to enjoy it. Oh, Cody versus Gunther. Cody won. Yeah. Like, Cody, I need you to get up this gold, sir. Like this. Even if you don't want to be turned heel, something has to change though. Like what you're doing right now is stale. You need to switch it up. I don't know how you do that. Switch it up. But yeah, but yeah, that's really my demeanor on pay-per-views now. Like I didn't even want to go listen to not reactions but reviews on shows because it really is like I like this show. I don't want to compare it to other shows. Let me just like this show.
Everything. I
But it
mean,
was a good watch.
maybe on their end it is. I'm sure that there's a very healthy amount of competition coming from both AEW and WWE. But from the fans'
Yes.
perspective, it doesn't have to be that way. If you're a wrestling fan, you just enjoy the wrestling. Well, unless, you're not watching WWE for whatever many reasons there might be that you have, whatever the case may be, or
Yes.
not watching AEW, whatever the case may be, depending on where you stand. But if you're a wrestling fan, you just enjoy the wrestling. It shouldn't matter what company it is or any of that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So yeah, and that's that tribalism that we've talked a lot about on here that doesn't serve anybody any purpose, right? It doesn't do anybody any good. So, um, whether believe it or not, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So, like anything good in wrestling is good for wrestling. It doesn't matter whether it's just WWE or AEW. You know what I mean? And bad stuff in wrestling is
Yeah.
bad wrestling all the way around. So, nothing happens in a vacuum, as we talk about here on this show a lot. So, whether we like it or not, they are intertwined, AEW and WWE, because they're producing the same product, and they're in direct competition with each other because they're the two sitting at the top of that food chain, or that totem pole, however whatever you want to call it, right? So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that fans feel one way or the other as far as, simply because I'm a WWE guy or I'm an AEW guy or whatever the case may be. It's like wrestling is wrestling. Like I said, if you have other reasons for not watching one or the other, then that's a different situation. But if it's just, I'm good, then yeah, come on, man. Like, and the reality is that if you're a wrestling fan and you're anti AEW, I'm not sure what you're doing, because really the better wrestling occurs on AEW for the most part. I mean, it just does. So, and
Sorry.
that's not. I mean, there's plenty of reasons to be disrespectful to WWE. That's not one of them. I mean, it just is what it is, right? It just is. That's the nature of the fact that AEW has a better roster at the moment than WWE does, and just has the ability to put together better matches. But um, I listen, wrestling when it's good, it's great, right? And there are things about wrestling that are equally as meaningful as any other sporting event that you watch, right? I mean, when it's my guy, when it's a person I like, when it's Samoa Joe, when it's a Will Ospreay, and they win a match, I'm just as happy as I am when the Lakers win, or when the Cowboys win, or when the Giants win. It's no different for me. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of all that stuff, as it is when someone I like's music comes out, something new, and it's really good. All those things, you just appreciate the artistry for what it is and the greatness for what it is, and just be happy that you get to witness it. Right? I mean, in many respects, there's a lot of great wrestlers out there to see where, I've said this before, thanks to the internet and stuff, if you want to, and it's within your wheelhouse to do it, you can see more wrestling today than you've ever been able to see in your whole entire life. This is a golden age of access to wrestling. Yeah, you have to pay for some of it's behind a paywall, some of it's on the internet. You have to look, but if you want to look for it and you care, you can find it. You can watch Japanese wrestling, you can watch Mexican wrestling, you can watch wrestling from everywhere across the world at this point, which you couldn't do 25 years ago or 30 years ago. There only was, either WCW at the time and or WWE, and for a long time only WWE on the main stage. So, it's a golden age in many respects. And if you like wrestling, there's a lot out there, and you should be able to find something you like and just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah. All right. So, to end this very nice little conversation, do you know your favorite wrestling match of all time?
Ooh, man.
And if not,
I
top
mean,
three maybe? Make it a little better, make it a little easier for you.
no. I know what my favorite match of all time is. It's one of those things where I have a bias because I was there live, and because it's one of those things where, like, it was such an amazing landmark event. But the very first TLC match with
Oh,
Edge and
you
Christian and the Hardy
bastard.
Boys and the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys, not Edge and Christian, I'm sorry, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley
Hmm.
Boys, and whatchamacallit.
Uh, I
So that,
can't stand
because
you
we were
right
there.
now.
So I was there for that, and it was the beginning of a new thing, and so it's probably my favorite match of all time. But beyond that, I mean, man, there's so many matches along the years that have been so good. And recency bias, Daniel Bryan recently, in AEW, a lot of matches there. I mean,
Yeah.
for nostalgic, him versus Nigel McGuinness, just because it had been so long, and even though the match itself wasn't everything I wanted it to be, because Nigel's old and Daniel's old, it's still the nostalgia of it, all those things, I mean, getting to just see, I mean, Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, if you go back and watch that, both of them were amazing. Okada and Omega at Wrestle Kingdom, and I'm not an Okada guy, but if you watch those
Yeah.
matches, so what about you? What's your favorite match of all time, ever?
Ever, ever, ever. So y'all know I'm at Heartbreak Kid Girl, and so HBK versus Taker in WrestleMania 25. Like that was it was so good. And crazy enough, the build up was simple, but they made it so much more somehow. The build up was basically Triple HBK wants to beat the streak, but it's HBK. So somehow, some way, they made it so freaking believable that he was going to do it. And then at the match, like all of the near fall was just like, is actually going to end. Oh shoot, and then that final last moonsault, he gets caught. Like, no. And they're like, they're both, but at the end, they're both just laid out there. It's like, oh my god, that was so freaking good. And then it's good because like you, I have a couple of favorites where I was there, I was in the moment, but like watching that match back, I'm like, oh, it's still good. Like that's probably the best thing ever. When you watch the match, like, oh, it is actually good. It wasn't just a crowd feel. It was really, really good match. But yeah, that is my
Really,
favorite ever.
what's really interesting is how some things don't hold up either. Like, it's not fair
Yeah.
because in some regards it's comparing apples and oranges, and it has one of the worst people ever in life in it, and Terrence from Tampa. But when I was a kid, when he slammed Andre the Giant, like that was the biggest moment in wrestling to date. Like for years, that was like the thing. Like that was the greatest moment that ever happened. Like I didn't see it live, but I watched Hulk Hogan slam Andre the Giant on TV, and it was like, oh my god, that's like, but then obviously it doesn't hold up because as wrestling gets better, you realize not that they weren't talented, but it was just a whole different situation, right? I mean, Hogan is what he was. Not that Andre wasn't talented and all those kinds of things, but just, like it's a whole different situation now. So it's amazing. It's just different how things evolve and how what once was might not continue to be. But, there are some things that do hold up, obviously, as in our favorite matches. But yeah, it's just interesting the way those things play out like that sometimes.
Oh no, most definitely. And sometimes it's just like leave the memories alone, and like the Attitude Era. No, I'm not gonna go back and watch the whole thing. But some of them, like, okay, I'm pretty sure this one is still good. Okay, yeah, it's still good. Like the Hell in a Cell matches, more so.
Foley, I mean, is that the one you're talking about?
So it's two. So like the main, the one with Nick and Taker, it is a little cringe, but I still watch it in awe. Like the cringe. Thankfully,
all these years later,
for me,
is still insane, dude. Like,
like the awe is still there, and honestly, but and like the whole nostalgia of it all. My dad was basically a mentor to a bunch of boys in the house with my family, and so they're all hyped after he gets thrown off. But then I remember my part was when he was walking back. I remember being so like, that fool got up. Oh, that fool actually going back. That fool actually going back. This thing ain't over. It's like, oh shoot. And then like watching it back. Some of my favorite one of my favorite moments was he went to the cell, but knowing that he talked the match over with Terry Funk, and Terry Funk was the first one to slide in. I'm like, that's a friend. It's like, listen, he's like, that was actually his idea. Terry Funk was the one who said, hey, how about you get tossed over the top rope, how about someone toss you over the cell. And like, at least if you're going to give him the crazy idea, at least be there for him when it actually happens. And so I appreciate that. He was actually in there, like, oh shoot, are you okay? It's not funny, but it's funny. I can just imagine him fighting again, like, man, I was just playing. I was not serious about you going through it. I can totally see him saying this to Mick Foley, like, please don't be dead. I was playing. I was not serious about you going through it. Oh, I can't hear you. If you're saying anything. Oh, I think you're back. You're back?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, like certain stuff, like I was in college, and like my memory is crazy because I'm like, I don't remember that, but I do remember that. Okay, and so it's like, thankfully, I think your mind holds on to greatness, which is a crazy thing, because it's like I don't remember a lot of stuff, but crazy enough, I do remember John Cena's debut match. Not sure why, but maybe because he was destined for greatness. Who knows? So like, it is crazy how your mind holds on to like, oh, this is something special. I don't know why, but it is. Before it even ends.
Roman Reigns eating dog food.
No, again, back to the Attitude Era. When I was in college, like I had assignments, whatever. But no, when I was doing my assignment, I used to watch YouTube videos of the Attitude Era, right? And so it was a couple of shows where I'm like, okay, I was there live. Why I don't remember this? And it was good. Like one episode was the one where Mick Foley wasn't Cactus Jack, but he was about to be Cactus. The show ended with him versus Triple H, and he put Triple H to the table. And I'm like, I don't remember this. What? Yeah. But then fast forward earlier, Pat Patterson is fighting Rikishi, and he has his dirty underwear. And I'm like, oh, I remember this. What's wrong with my brain? Why do I remember this and not the great freaking main event match? This is stupid.
Yeah. No,
But it was a great main event match. But I remember the dookie in the freaking face.
right? No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So, anything else we want to say to the people before we give them back the rest of their evening?
No, like I said, enjoy wrestling. Like if you need to, turn off the noise and just enjoy it. Like don't get me wrong. Spatting with people online can be very much so fun. But if it's ruining your joy of wrestling, just turn them off for a moment. Just turn it off and enjoy.
Wise words from Miss Anika. Let's see. Tuesday nights, you're here with us now. Every Tuesday night, join us for the cookout, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, where we come together and talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. Come for the wrestling, stay for the chaos. On Friday nights, it's Anika and sometimes Sammy Joe watching SmackDown in real time, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, giving you their real time reactions, opinions, and review of the show as it goes on. And Miss Anika is fun to watch with because her excitement level is always high for wrestling. She is fun to watch wrestling with.
It's the
On
tea.
Saturday mornings or Sunday nights, it's Winter Circle, let's say on the weekend. You'll get an episode
Oh,
of
on
Winter
the
Circle
weekend.
where we come together, myself and Anika talk about AEW Collision and AEW Dynamite from the days before, grade each show and declare a winner based upon those grades. So that's either at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning or 5 p.m. on Sunday evening. If you have that little bell on the YouTube channel selected, you will make sure and get a notification before we go live so you can always catch it. Let's see when indeed it happens. There are times, unfortunately, life be life, and sometimes it does not happen. But like I said, the best way to make sure is have that little bell clicked and you'll get a notification. So you can always check us out and interact with us on these social media platforms. We love to hear from you guys, interact with you guys. The best part of Workhorse Wrestling Network is you guys. So if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to Linktree. From Linktree, you can get to all of our social media from one place. Come over, check us out, interact with us. Love to talk with all of you guys anytime you guys want to talk. So, or whatever you guys are into. And last but not least, you can listen to the audio version of the Cookout podcast on these podcast platforms. Our wonderful producer, Dolores, who does all of our intros and outros, graphics, all that stuff, she downloads the audio version and posts it on these platforms. So you can listen to us while you're out driving around in your car, doing your chores, working out. Wherever you want to hear our golden vocal cords, you can do that. So I think that's essentially it for another successful cookout. Thanks for joining us as always. And until next time, we will do what Dolores does, cut those lights, and say peace.
Bye.
That was a cookout. Came for the wrestling, stayed for the chaos.